Oh. Ta-da! There we go. We got it.
Alrighty.
All right, that went off good. I am joined today by Mechanical Frog, and he's going to be working on some BattleTech minis. I'm sure I'll be picking his brain because he just got a 3D resin printer, and I'll be wanting to talk about that. And then I am working.
Now I know why I'm here.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Got to butter you up. Get close to the 3D printer. Keep your friends close, but your 3D printer closer. Um, and I'm doing that. I think that's a new Imperial Aeronauticus or whatever it's called, and this awesome converted giant. That thing is so cool. And I just love that. He has his little brothers. So he's got this guy here. It's like a little master blaster situation. And then that one.
Looking good. Ready for swimsuit season there.
Yeah. Okay, wait. I got there. Pro JG, hey, thanks for making it. I got all my setup right. Wait, let me. Got the tweet out. There. Do you know what scheme or whatever you're doing on these?
I'm gonna do. It's technically dry brushing, but these are primed black. But I'm gonna go pretty heavy with a red over the top, and so it'll be red armor, but you'll still see plenty of black kind of in the nooks and crannies.
Hey, Real Road Beer and Spook. I'm debating. I was gonna blur some of this, and I blurred a little, but I was just blurring the edge lines, and part of me thinks I'm just gonna do it by hand because I notice on a lot of these I like to like overcommit to the style. I'll do some of these, and it's like, all right, like if you're gonna go for the glow, really make it glow. If you're gonna go for the motion, or if for some reason like these were standing out without the motion blur, and then I kind of wanted them to stand out, so I was like, you know what? Maybe I'll do a couple pieces here and there. You know what? Good.
I was
Continue.
curious how you grab the edges on those models because I've been kind of doing my own little editing of things, and when I pull the background out, it's always
Hmm.
really obvious where that edge work is. So do you blur it somehow, or is there a tool? Or
Yes, you could. So a lot of times I'll go in there and wait, like I'll go around once and then a lot of times drop it against like if it's an orange model, I'll drop it against like a blue background so then you see every little pixel. And if you're
Mhm.
cleaning up by hand, you can go hard edge or you can like if you're using the eraser tool on Procreate, just take it down to like the opacity, maybe it's like 50% or so, and then go around the edge. So even if you erase into the object a little bit, it doesn't much matter. Like it's going to be very rare that if you erase some, you even notice, because by the time you scale out, it doesn't even matter. And I know they had some kind of apps that take out the background and stuff. So I might have to like look, and I know Photoshop does a real good job of it, I guess, too. But I end up doing it all in here, and I might have to look for some stuff. Hello, the crease. Thanks for making it. In
RV,
the...
how's that vacation treating you?
Who's on vacation?
Road beer there.
Oh,
Got a little bit of time off.
that's always a good thing. Oh, wait, what am I doing? I have to blur. Perspective blur pencil. There. How many of these things did you paint already? I've seen you do quite a few, I think.
I've been printing a whole ton of them. I haven't had a chance to paint any of the new ones in a while.
Yeah, so you went into, like you did what I did when I got my printer, where it's like kind of berserk mode. It's like, yeah, print it all.
Definitely increased the backlog. That's for sure.
Print it all.
Yeah, probably have 18 or so new mechs to paint now. And
Oh God. But price, like, and that's the thing. I think with those 3D printers, price wise, you're not going to beat it. Oh, he
well, just
said, real road beer said going well. First official day. Thinking of getting out into the woodshed when it warms up.
there you go. Do some woodworking.
It's been a long time since I did any woodworking. That don't look right. I ended up getting HBO Max because Dune was coming out and they're going to have it on HBO Max.
Hmm.
But I did it. There was a bunch of different ways you could sign up, but I did the right thing. And I was like, one of the things I found out kind of about Apple, I never used it much and only recently had the phone, is that I can get HBO Max signed up through Apple Pay. So, and Apple Pay is really easy to quit paying someone. You know what I mean? So it's like, all right, because sometimes they want to bounce you around and hey, contact this or contact that. I'm like, well, I know I'll watch it for a couple months, but I might not want it after that. And I knew I would watch Dune a couple times, so I'm like, all right.
It was one I was kind of hoping to see in the theater. It's been so long since we had been. My
I
son's
know. Yeah, part of me wants to too. I still might.
the other show I started watching was Foundation.
Yeah. Yep, I've been watching that.
Asimov. That I just seen the first episode and then like, wow, I'm definitely going to have to finish this.
Yeah, I was pleasantly it seemed a little different. I mean, it seemed a little different. I like the storytelling. I was surprised that it spans the actual story from episode to episode spans quite a bit of time.
Mm.
And so in that regard, it was something kind of different than what I was used to. And it didn't I usually hate like time travel shows, or not time travel shows, but like when they skip around, and I don't think this one does skip a little bit, but it didn't annoy me because some I hate. It seems like Lost made that so popular.
It's been a while since a show really grabbed me, and so
Hmm.
I'm excited to see that one.
Good. I wanted to, the only reason I got HBO Max is what was it? Uh Raised by Wolves, that Ridley Scott one. I saw the first episode when it was a preview type of thing where you could, what I mean, see the first episode. And I did that and I kind of dug it. So I was like, well, I'll watch that.
Those are right. I kind of lost interest in it after a while.
Oh, you did watch some of it?
Yeah, I think I've
Ah,
seen maybe
okay.
the first 5 or 6 episodes.
Okay.
I
Yeah,
kind
so
of
I'll be
forgot about it.
curious. Yeah, I'll be curious if I lose interest or not. 'Cause it's easy to do.
It's not like we have a shortage of other things to do in our lives, right?
Exactly. Greetings, Overton. Thanks for checking it out. It says Real Road Beer is thinking of picking up one of those propane outdoor heaters like you see in a restaurant, bar. Oh yeah, those work great. If you got like a wood shop kind of out, not outdoors, but you know what I mean, like garage or something like that. Those will heat it up quick.
That'd be good for when your power company cuts you off anyway, or be
Get
goes
some
out in
wood.
California.
Oh yeah. What layer am I on?
Coming along. So good Draconis Combine Lance once it's done. So,
And you still haven't played any BattleTech, have you?
I play with my kids.
Okay, so you at least start to get the rules and stuff kind of a
Yeah, we
little
play
more down.
pretty regularly. I played a lot as a teenager, and then
Yeah.
put it down for quite a few years. And my
And now,
youngest is definitely more into it than my oldest is. So when we play, it's very like simplified rules, and
yep, yep.
but it's still fun. He's learning all the little mech names and
Huh.
all that.
Why? Oh, that's what it is. I erased the background. Pro JG said, "Do you find your 3D prints a bit brittle?"
Um,
It's like smack one, take one and smack it on the table and see, dude.
I wouldn't say any more brittle than a regular model. I have read that if you overexpose your models trying to get the resin to cure, that they can get brittle. So I've been kind of keeping that down to a minimum. Just a couple of
Gotcha.
minutes in the machine, and they're done.
I see. I'd be going nuts. And see, terrain is what I'd be using every. I mean, grant, yeah, I would have them different for different sections, but yeah, I'd start with like I would get addicted to little terrain pieces. I even had, like I said, I had one of those. I wouldn't say it's crummy, but you know what I mean. The spool printers, FDL, or I forget what it's called. And
Mm.
I printed some crazy stuff. I couldn't believe the detail. It was like all these tires. It was like a pile of tires, and it just the way it laid it all down. I was like, wow, I can't believe it like prints that much detail on just one of those. It's pretty insane, actually.
Well, the whole idea that you're creating something out of basically nothing is
Hmm.
still something that breaks our older brains.
I do, but
That's not so much a big deal for like when my
no,
kids.
to me, I'm like, you can make it, and then the problem is that then all I kept thinking was like, man, maybe I really should learn 3D. I'm like, it's not too hard to make a shield in 3D, and and I'm like, dude, you got so much stuff going on. Don't try to. But the fact of like with you like spend a good year just like practicing whatever amount of time a day, and by the time you're done, you'd be able to like make some stuff for 3D printing all the time. Just amazing this day and age. Like 30 years ago, what are you gonna do? Carve it out of wood, make some plastic, and make a casting.
Or just make it out of trash and like do trash
Yeah.
terrain. Yeah, but after struggling with the old style printers for so long, it's just been kind of a breath of fresh air, even with the cleanup, which admittedly can be a little gross sometimes. Um, but being able to pull one print out, and then as so long as there wasn't an error in the printing process, you just start the next one. It
Oh, that
feels
makes a difference.
amazing,
I didn't know that. Yeah, that seems cool.
where you don't have to struggle with scraping the build
Yeah,
plate.
you're not pulling the plate every time and doing all that. Yeah.
Yeah, because once you get the resin models off the build plate, which takes about 30 seconds, um, you clean the plate, put it back in, and then you can restart the machine on the next thing while you're cleaning up the ones you just pulled out. So it's pretty.
See, I
Once
need
you
to
have the
make more
process
money so Artist Empire has a reason to have one always running and printing minis. Because then I don't even want to do it. I just want to hire someone and be like, okay, start printing minis. Go. Like, what are we going to do with them? I don't know. Just do it. It's important.
yeah, I've just been using. Um, JG's mentioning 2 different types of resin there. I've only been using the Elegoo so far, and it's been pretty solid for me. I'm definitely not unhappy with the result.
Here's a little time lapse of what I was doing on these two. I'll show what I do. The
that
quick
is me
version.
on the right. Yep.
Oh yeah, unfortunately, Lee did not make it today because his cat passed away.
Oh no.
Yeah, so that's not a good thing.
No. We'll go with some old gold on these bases. That'll fit well with the red.
Old gold.
Old gold. Tarnished.
You got that done pretty quick. Yeah, so you brushed. Okay, that was interesting. Is that like a makeup brush?
Yeah, it's a cheapo, like
Yeah.
$6 for a makeup, and I just murder them doing their brushing. They have very short lives, but they're glorious.
Yeah.
I'm certainly not going to drop like $30 on a mini painting dry brush.
Yeah.
As cool as they look, like it wouldn't last very long.
Let's do some nature. Oh wait.
Good to see you, Echo.
I made nonsense little things, but wait, what did I do? I forgot I can do these. I can bring up things like featured White Dwarf 465, the greatest magazine ever made.
Oh, this is good. When I pick up my son from school later today, I'm going to look like I've been murdering people all day.
Yeah, perfect. And like you point your finger out the window like come here, you know what I mean? Like come here, and all red painted hand.
Mistakes were made.
You're in big trouble. Echo, are you working on any minis? Is anyone working on anything right now? Maybe just a beer? Is Road Beer working on a beer? That counts. That counts as a hobby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever works.
Yeah, man. I'm not going to discount someone else's hobby. I still got to. Well, Lee's always later in the day. This is too much like it's not work and yet it is work. Like it's Lee'll have a drink sometimes. I'm like, dude, I wouldn't have a drink, and I don't know. It's kind of like you're going to work even though it doesn't feel like work or something. Don't drink on the job, man.
Yeah, a bit early in the day for me.
I'm like, I could have a beer. He said soon. Hashtag soon. Oh, how about, yeah, that's kind of gold.
It's lunchtime somewhere. All right.
Is the I saw you playing that game. Is it? I mean, obviously it's based on the same property or whatever, but does it translate kind of the same between the book game, and the tabletop and the video game? Like, are they pretty like same? I assume like same weapons and stuff on the same
Yeah.
mechs.
Same weapons. The ranges are the same. Kind of, a lot of the details are the same.
Okay, I did not know that.
They might tweak the percentages here and there, but
Yeah.
nothing too noticeable.
Okay, so it is very similar. I didn't know if they would or not.
Yeah, if you knew one game, you'd pretty easily be able to transfer into the other.
More sparks.
It's been really cool that BattleTech has taken off so much. I when I first started making the YouTube videos, I figured the BattleTech stuff would be kind of a personal, just for fun thing, but those videos take off and there's a lot of interest in and positivity in the community. So it's pretty cool.
Ah, good, 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 good. I know. I don't look around enough. I have to look at the D&D community a little more and see. So, like, I gotta find some of the other miniatures and just different stuff.
Add some yellow here. What should we do first?
Am I in a new layer? Oh, Overton, you're allowed a beer. It's 8 p.m. where I am, where you are. What kind of beer would you drink? Wait, Overton. Yeah, what would he have? I don't know what the beer is over there. I lack commitment. I wanted to say he was from Sweden, but I'm like, I talk to him all the time, and do I really remember the country he was from? And if I say it wrong, I'm a total idiot. So I didn't want to commit to saying he was from Sweden.
Over there somewhere.
Yeah, yeah, because I talked to him a bunch and everything. Like, dude, you just talked to me like 10 times. And you can't remember I'm from Sweden. So I was afraid of committing to where he was from. That's hilarious.
It's like running into a former
Yeah,
student who you just
yeah,
vaguely remember. Like, I want to say
yeah.
Thomas. No.
Bummer.
I didn't expect I'd have that problem moving across the state, but I just ran across a student who's going to the university out here,
Uh,
and she spotted me and, "Hi, Mister." Yeah, and,
yeah.
oh wow, I haven't seen you in 8 years. Pretty cool.
Different side. A thicker lager. I think it's classified. An echo. Am I on a new layer? I hate that. Echo said, yeah, when I'll start doing something sometimes, the worst on this is when I'll be on the layer with the model itself, and then I'll start doing all this stuff, and I'll be like, oh God, like all that's gotta screw up. Overton is a Dane who moved to Sweden. I was right. Why did he? This is such a trip. That's such a. It makes me want to convert models.
What I want to do is find files that are just like random mech parts and Frankenstein monster some mechs
Oh
together.
God, I'm sure you can. Yeah, you've scoured Thingiverse, so haven't you?
Yeah,
Yeah.
then just signed up for what's his name, Nova Minis. He's got a Patreon. He does models every month, but they're
Yeah.
I couldn't resist. He's got this set of frog warrior models. It's like, oh, favorite animal. Got to go for it.
Yeah, that's a whole new breed. Like, especially someone with a 3D printer, that's like such a good way, like supporting some artists, and then you get good models that might be really niche and not anywhere else, so you get some cool stuff. Those will open up a lot. He, oh, Overton meant it's not what it was classified as a lager, not classified as in secret. I thought you wouldn't tell us, dude. Land of Mummin. Only lakes and knife wielders in Finland. Land of Mummin is the lager, I guess. No, we will find out. What is this little guy is doing up here?
We had two days of really hard work for the crew down here in the basement. Like, oh, we're finally making progress, and then it was a no-show this morning.
Oh, really?
So I'm like, I'm getting a little concerned that they're not going to be done by Thanksgiving when,
Oh,
when we have people over and it's supposed to be done. You know, the journey continues here. The super fun remodeling project. Going on
yeah.
like 6 months to remodel 3 rooms that already had most of the framing done.
Oh,
We're not winning.
gosh.
Not winning any speed awards for this project. That's for sure.
No, that's apparently not. Yeah, it's a bummer. Be worth it when it's done.
Yeah, eventually. And teasing my son every day he gets home from school. I'm like, yeah, you should check out your room. Oh, they did one
Uh,
little tiny thing.
it was like, yeah, they go put a
Great.
couple nails in. And what's the point of even like showing up? Like, I don't know, at some like if I'm working on a job like that, it's like go and get that stuff finished and get paid and
Yeah, it's been frustrating because my inclination would be to get one job done and before you kind of
wow,
take on 4 others. So I know he's got multiple projects going, but I definitely want to see him here working more than 2 days a week. It's a little frustrating.
I could understand
Like,
that.
I want to give you your last check. Just finish. Don't you want your money?
What did Echo say? Conversions are really fun. I've been having a great time taking some Age of Sigmar minis and make. Oh, see, he's been making them the Age of Sigmar minis into Space Commanders, and
Cool.
especially I can like those new Stormcast. I can see those really
I've seen a
being
few
used for.
models where they give Space Marines those Stormcast spears.
Yeah,
Like, just looks awesome. I love that. Spears and shields.
yep, yeah. I love that look
I
too.
so badly want more Primaris with shields. I will just
Yep.
please just punch there. Not unhappy when those shield bearing guys came out.
And Overton says the beer I'm having is a traditional Pilsner from a big Danish brewery. Oh yeah, that's right. He said they don't have beer commercials there. Forgot about that. Get our dose of culture. So they don't have, if I recall correctly, Overton said they don't have beer commercials in Sweden. So there. We learned a little something too on this podcast or whatever this is, live stream.
Educational.
Yeah, whatever we're doing. Oh, we're gonna play a little section I like to call "Look at Me." Um, where is it? How do I do this now? Can I bring this up on my screen? Oh, I can. Ta-da! So I was gonna show some of the. Here's a couple of the paint overs I did for Dead Zone, the third edition that just came out from Mantic. These were so fun. I got to do a crazy blood splatter murder scene, and I liked it. What's this other one? This one's still one of my favorite out of the bunch. It was one of the first ones I did. It was probably like the second one.
I still have to paint those guys.
Oh yeah, you got them
They're
right
still primed
there.
chrome. I just haven't gotten around to.
Yeah, I love this one. The motion version of this came out really cool too. I was surprised. I didn't know how it was going to work on a bunch of stuff. And then I did the Veerman. And these are all, so they have two books with their box set. And my pictures were in the Force List book. So there was 10 of them because there's 10 factions. And it's at the, oh, and you get a sneak peek. So I haven't showed this one, but everyone here will get a sneak peek. I love this one. A little cyberpunk city. And it was kind of cool because it was something different that you normally wouldn't do like 40K-ish, you know what I mean? So I was like, okay, they got like the cyberpunk vibe in it, and creatively, I'm digging it. Like there's so much I can try to pull off, so I've been having a lot of fun with those. Hopefully I get to do some more.
Yeah, I've got that third
Oh,
edition pre-ordered.
you
Should be
do?
in. Yeah,
Oh, and here I blocked in a version of this. And so let's see. I'll do it on the solo screen real quick. Oh, wait, how do I play it again? I don't think I can.
I'm just having a ball with that app.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Let me put the screen back. Oops, now we're backwards. Bink, bink. Nope. There. Thank you. Thanks. You like the city one too? Yeah, it had some like the cool lights and everything, and I was like, that one came out. Sometimes they just align and they come out like better than you think they will. You know, it was like one of those where like, oh, I lucked out. It came out like everything mixed well.
Accidentally perfect.
Yeah, because all of those, none of those, all of these paintovers were they were just single models. I'll have to show some of the time lapses. So they were just individual photos, so I had to compose the whole picture, you know. So what none of it was set up. So some of them had terrain pieces. A lot of that's their terrain, so I tried to put all their terrain in too, you know, in a lot of the pictures where it worked out. Yep, that was their scenery. I'll show you real quick, Overton. Uh, yeah, so like the buildings right in front are all Mantic ones. That one with like the canvas and the thing where the trucks park next against to it. And the one right above it is another Mantic building. The perspective or whatever might be forced by me or whatever, but yeah, that's all the regular Mantic stuff. Like I have some rain over it and some glow in it, but I didn't like change those structures at all really. So the two on the tall left ones are both Mantic. And then the same, this one you can only see it like deep in the background, but those are, you know, Mantic scenery pieces. All right, what do I get to? I gotta get back to my screen. A, okay.
But they're pretty excited to get their next edition out.
Yeah, like a lot of, I mean, obviously it seems like the lockdown increased some people's like hobby appetite and getting back into it and all that, but it seems like a lot of different, you know, content creators and gaming companies and all that kind of stuff got a little bit of a boost. Hopefully it lasts for them.
I'm all for the competition, so anyone who can give GW a little run for their money, then we will all
Yeah,
benefit
yeah,
as gamers when there's some competition.
it does make a difference. And just like choices, you know what I mean? You got so many, it's like, hey, I want to, I don't know, whatever you might want. That's why I love the like the 3D printing and just all those different artists can like make their own little worlds and their sculpts, and there'll be a lot of good stuff that comes out that way.
Like the one page rules has his own. He has those models, but he also has the game rules too. So he's got his
Hmm.
own game. Pretty
I
cool.
constantly hear about one page rules. Like they'll go, if gauging by like word of mouth rate, I hear about one page rules all the time. So they got a good thing going on.
The models are just incredible. Like,
I didn't even know they made
definitely,
models. I thought it
definitely
was
hitting
just the rules.
the rules and then the STL files for you to print them.
Oh,
So
nice.
the Da Vinci army is like hits uh,
Hmm.
all of my historical buttons. Like archers, crossbowmen, and they were kind of in that Renaissance style. Oh gosh, sign me up twice.
Yo, Forge, thanks for swinging by. Sorry about the loss there, buddy.
Yeah.
He's drinking a bud as per usual in tribute to the show. Real road beers. Erus, thanks for making it. The city has a Blade Rubber vibe. Yeah, that's totally what I was going for. I was like, all right, commit to the Blade Runner thing. And with that one where the speeders were across, I was kind of going for like a Dune or like when they did the Blade Runner 2 and that orange kind of scenery. So I was totally trying to go for that. See, even Echo says one page rules is amazing. Real Road Beer says if you didn't develop some marketable hobbies during the lockdown, you wasted a year. Yeah, there was something to. I was like, dude, I gotta do something with it because I knew I didn't want to like, I don't know, just be negative about. It. I was like, the lockdown was quite something different. Try to make the most of it.
Yeah. Better yourself in some way.
People are trapped. Give them content. Make them watch my stuff. I think a lot of people too. You see, so, like a lot of people kicked off YouTube and or like they started doing YouTube channels and everything. And I think it's one of those two where then it's like you realize, oh God, this is going to be a lot of work over a lot of years to really turn it into something.
Yeah, it's not going to be an instant thing.
No.
You got to treat it like anything else. You got
Hmm.
putting in the effort. There's always going to be kind of those outlier cases where
Yeah,
someone
some people just
makes a
have like
video that
ways
just
to
gets a
do. Yeah.
million hits. But
Yeah, for the most part, you're just going to be working it to. I feel good about it though, and it's fun. Like I have fun doing this type of stuff. Check out what you're working on and chit chat with everyone. Dune, 2 days. I got Forge of Mars. Well, Forge of Mars. I wonder if Forge of Mars is going to see it in the theater.
I would bet
Uh,
on it.
yeah, so would I, and I should because it's going to be the proper way to see it. Maybe I'll just get really close to the TV.
Just rest those eyeballs right on the glass.
Yeah, exactly. Rest your eyeballs on the glass. It's like you're there. Oh wait, didn't this have red lights? No, it had green lights on top. Maybe I'll try to light those up green somehow. And I chose this one because it's like whatever, super new. So I want to try to ride the algorithm. Yeah. I
That'll
think
work.
these were green. Do they
Plus,
work
you can have
green?
BattleTech for this one.
I know. I should have keyworded the streams. It doesn't. It's one of those things where yes, I should probably put the real description and real and like that's another part where yeah, I probably need to do that just in general. I always just put like live stream, free paint over day live stream. Ta-da! Should be a little more specific and say what I'm working on and all that kind of good stuff.
Some gold accents on these mechs. Definitely have that Draconis Combine look.
Is that a faction, I assume?
Yep.
I
Kind
don't
of
know.
the
I don't remember.
kind of a mixture of Japanese and Chinese cultural influences.
Okay.
The dragon imagery in red and
Oh, so
gold.
they must. Oh, yeah. They've been around a while. I remember them. Okay.
I'll do a Merrick Lance for you, RB, at some point.
And I remember that. Yeah, because I have the book. I'm gonna go look later and find those.
Just find the most expensive mechs and make those the Merrick Lance.
Seven people. Thanks for making it. If you're enjoying it, please hit that like button and all that good stuff. Go. I was in that audio chat on Twitter today, and I'm like, it was like what? Go to artistempire.com, visit patreon.com/artistempire, go to coffee.com/artistempire. Instagram is artistempire art. Facebook is like, when I was like listing off all the stupid places, it was just funny. It's like you need some little audio clip of like, go check all these million places out. It was like Reddit. Where else is it? TikTok. I even had a TikTok for the little videos.
Hmm.
It's everywhere, man. Oh, that was series on Netflix is a cool series called, what is it? How it's not how it's made, but the movies that made us. And I enjoyed, so I
Yeah,
watched. Yeah, so I've been. Oh no, did this just cut out? Ugh. You're full screening it for a second till I get me back.
you can carry the weight, I suppose.
Wait, did this totally cut out then? That's one thing. Oops. Oh. Oh, almost cut the feed. All right, so that means I have to share this device. Dun,
Maximum
dun,
effort.
dun. Oh, there, yeah, it zoomed in at the right distance. What scale is that?
Oh,
What do they say?
I'm not sure. I want to say like 1 to 72 or something like that.
Yeah. And here we go. Nope. Green lights. Any green lights on this bad boy?
So that discussion recently, someone who was getting into BattleTech was asking about the factions, like, well, which mechs go with which faction, and what
Yeah.
bonuses does this faction have over there? Like, it doesn't work like that.
No, like from
Robots
what
are the
I,
robots, and if you can pay for it,
yeah,
then
you get a hold of, you can steal one or do whatever you can to get one.
whatever backstory you want to justify some traditional Merrick mech or traditional
Yeah.
Leo and mech. Oh, if we bought it off this trader or something, it doesn't matter.
making the mechs is like I saw your page and I was laughed because I had a page next to me that was back from whatever the 80s or whatever when that thing came out with it has you fill in all the circles and how many are left or what you can fight with and all that.
Hmm.
Battletech Wiki says 1/285th or 6 millimeter scale.
There you go.
See, thank you, thank you, Echo.
That's why we pay Echo the big bucks.
Mm-hmm. So we
Your,
learned that, and we
your
learned
checks
that
will pay Echo.
Sweden doesn't have beer commercials. You watch this show long enough, you pretty much know everything. You know, they're at this rate.
Just fill the stream with obscure historical facts.
Yeah, it's a good little addition. You can have some historical facts mixed in with your 40K.
Sure. About the
Oh,
cannons that were used to knock down the walls of Constantinople or Byzantium
yeah.
were once offered to the emperor, and the emperor decided not to purchase them. He thought they were too expensive, and so the guy who made them sold them to the Ottomans,
Oh,
and
wow.
then used them to take the city.
Oh, that's a missed sales out. You want to get that one before they
Turned
go
out
up
to
for
be
sale.
extremely expensive.
Yeah, that's a costly no sale.
Was it pay your weapons producers well?
Oh yeah, something. So I'm sure there's some lesson to be learned.
Always pay your mercenaries and always pay the weapons merchants.
Yeah. Overton says I actually did something a bit similar with my Imperial Knights. They are all different colors. Their backstory is that they are free blades given a chance to prove themselves to join the household. Yeah, that's what's kind of cool. Like, and someone could be like painting up their own mech or whatever. You get a little more variation in what you can do. I want the bigger ones, like the other one. Just play that scale.
The bigger mech.
Yeah. Oh, and you gotta,
Just takes time to print and paint.
yeah, and you gotta play on your whole floor. You can't have anything in the room because you gotta play with the whole floor.
Yeah, yeah. I think like 72 mil scale would be
Hmm.
awesome. That's just
Just
7 inches. That's not much bigger than.
tell your son of like, oh, you know about that room? I guess not. It doesn't look like it's happening. And then you play it all in there.
Yeah, we won't have any shortage of space.
I know you
We'll
don't.
get
I
the
see
gaming room set up.
for real. You got like a big chunk. That's cool.
Get to the point where the wife is already shopping for furniture. I'm like, let's finish and get stuff moved in first,
She's like, dude, we've
and
been
then we'll
waiting.
decide what else we need. Oh, we need a new dresser and a guest bed, and we need tables.
Hmm.
Like, okay, just wait. We don't have anywhere to put it anyway, so wait till it's done.
Hey, it's getting there. You're live streaming from downstairs now.
Yes, yes.
So that's a big
Not
step.
gonna complain. Not gonna complain too loudly.
No,
Also
patience
sounds
is a.
it sounds pretty arrogant, like I'm complaining about my 1,600 square foot addition when other people are like trying to pay rent for the month.
Yeah, I
So
mean, I get
it's
it, but
important to keep
you're
perspective.
still allowed to complain.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. Realistically, yes. Like I feel that. That's why I don't complain very much. Like, okay, yeah, I'm living where I live, and I'm eating, and all that good stuff. And it's like there's a whole lot that aren't right now.
Yeah.
But I'll
Complain.
still complain about how many apps I have to go to post my YouTube video.
Ugh, torture. Now you know what true suffering feels like.
Yes, dude. You know how many times I gotta log into 4 different things on YouTube just to post a video?
It's true hardship.
Hmm.
Thoughts and prayers.
Yeah, I mean, I'll take it. Like other people be hitting the beach on D-Day in their lifetime. Like, no thanks. I'll skate. I saw the short time lapse of my Warlords that you did with the Prodigy, The Day is My Enemy, and I played it repeatedly before listening to the song on iTunes. Yeah. I get addicted. I can't. That's right. So on Instagram and even YouTube, I can sync some up to like some of their songs and they'll let you use it. And there's been a couple I want to do the motion ones with to like songs because I thought they would match really well.
Yeah.
And so I was going to do that, but I was having fun with sound effects. I didn't know I was going to enjoy doing sound effects on the videos, and it was actually been fun syncing them all up with sound.
There's some you can get away with using more than 15 seconds, and others you have to
Hmm.
just use what they let you.
Wait, we're dropping. Overton dropped another historical fact. Sweden once built a humongous ship meant to rule the sea. It basically sunk before leaving the port area. Was way too heavy.
Yeah, was that the one that they actually refloated and is in a museum now? I think I heard about that. Like super proud of this ship that never quite make it out of the harbor.
Hmm.
Looks really good though. Oh, yeah.
And it's down. And it's over.
It's one of those look but don't use ships. It's really good
Yeah,
in the
how
harbor.
did that go down? So if something like that happens, like there's got to be like whatever, even engineers or whoever's like pushing for it and all that, and then you go and flop it in the water and it's just like bloop 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 bloop. Like, well, who eyeballed who? Someone got eyeballed on that. You said it was gonna work.
Seemed like a good idea at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Wassa.
The ship name is Wassa. For Jamar said Ghost Bears for the win. Gosh damn it. I'm going to get out my books.
Don't make me get my giant Jade
Yeah,
Falcon.
don't.
Go get it out. I will pull this car over.
I'm going to go get my old books. Wow. It seems like a lifetime away now when I see those books from the 80s. It wasn't even that long ago, but it was. What's the matter, you? The one guy, yeah, Overton for sure. Oh, that just reminds me. I was at when I was really worked at a shop, and the guys there, it was a whole it was called a body chassis marriage system where they put the body of the car onto the chassis of the car. They fuse them, so it's like this huge track and part. That the part that carries the chassis is mounted to the ceiling, and the part that carries or the chassis is on the floor and the body's on the ceiling. So you're using the ceiling and the floor, and you have to like weld everything to it because you have to have all the supports and all that stuff. Anyway, I was in the shop. They had to move all these lines because they needed the space because they're trying to land a job. They weld up the whole part on the ceiling. So like half of their shop, like they cleared it out and moved all this stuff to weld it all. So it was like this huge ongoing project. And then it all was said and done. They they didn't account for the couple inch spacer that they had to put on the floor to lift the rails. So they welded the whole thing was all 4 inches off, and it got all through you're talking all your engineers, your plant managers, your everybody all missed the thing. And when they were measuring it, then they realized after it was all like up that they were 4 inches off.
That's rough.
Yeah. I'm like, you did it for, and that's like months, you know what I mean? You were doing it for months, and then you're like, and I'm like, how did you all miss the fact that that's like a big miss? Don't do that. These giants are so massive in the game.
It's interesting to me how they are definitely pushing the larger things in
Mm-hmm.
Age of Sigmar lately. Dragons and giants, and
And
I guess that's what
scenery.
sells.
Yeah.
They want big stuff, I guess. And Stormcast models.
Yeah, they did though. There's been a lot of stuff. I wonder how many now. I wonder what it is like how many models do they put out a year? How many different models? It's got to be quite a few now.
Never enough for some.
Yeah. I'm still chewing on a shell from a squash seed. I don't know if anyone hears that. It's probably annoying. I'll probably listen to this back and be like, dude, stop chewing. What's going on, guys?
There's a little the wet dry brush thing that I did on these guys is like the super easy way to paint mechs quickly.
It
It
seems like I
requires
would.
so little effort.
Would it? Does it seem like that style would work on terrain? It seems like something I'd want to do on terrain.
Sure. Yeah,
Like,
it's kind of the if you didn't feel like base coating and then washing and
mm-hmm.
doing all that, because there's no washes with these ones. Well, until the very end, but it's just a different way to do it.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Overton said they renovated a local hospital a few years back, and after countless resources went into it, someone went, "Hey, it's going to be too heavy for the foundation. Let's scrap that." Oh God.
Oof. There was a nuclear power plant that was under construction in the state for, it took something like 10 to 15 years to build at the time. And they
Mm-hmm.
got, I think, um, 2/3 of the way through the construction. They built the big cooling towers first.
Yeah.
And then the whole 3 Mile Island thing happened, and
Oh
they
yeah.
abandoned that. But the cooling towers have been there ever since, and so they're a bit of a tourist attraction now. So you can go and kind of
Okay.
check them out, and get a tour through them and all that. And they're even in some movies, like they're used in a couple of the Transformers movies.
Okay. Yeah.
They
Yeah.
needed like
Yeah.
a concrete bunker type look.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool. Every once in a while, you see them in movies. It's kind of neat. Like, but spent a ton of money building a cooling tower for a nuclear power plant that never quite got finished. Enjoy your massive waste of money.
Let's see if we can
Oh,
copy.
well, RB, I shared that story for years when I taught the intro to engineering class. Like, oh, watch your units. Do not want to be the person who makes the $10 million mistake. when you forget to convert inches to
Oh yeah.
centimeters, meters to feet.
Where's a lens flare? Let's try to put a lens flare on this bad boy. I don't know where a lens flare would go. J.J. Abrams would know.
Everywhere.
What do you mean one? Nope, it's not a lens flare type of thing apparently.
Been a little rough. My son is in the same year that I used to teach for history, and so I kind of questioned him a little bit when he comes home. Oh, what are you working on? How's it? How is he teaching these things? All that.
You
It's
gotta work
it's
on your
been a little
teacher.
frustrating because the teacher has a different philosophy than I do. Like he uses a lot of the textbook.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, all right. I'm just gonna have to just accept that people do things differently.
There comes a point in life where you just have to accept that some people do things differently.
Yeah, I also didn't want to be the guy who like emails the teacher and say, "Oh, you need to teach it like this," because occasionally I would get one of those when I was doing it,
Mm-hmm.
and it was never appreciated.
Yeah. I'm gonna go into their art class, go cause a ruckus, tell the teacher, no,
Stop teaching this wrong. Be
stop,
better.
be better for our youth. Okay, I'm gonna say, you know what I'm gonna do? I have the power. I'm gonna make everyone watch my promo video again. That's what we're gonna do. It's gonna be solo, so I'm taking up both screens. We're gonna watch the promo reel. Enjoy. I can't play the one. If I play Are You Not Entertained? I have that one version on Twitter and I love that, but I'm afraid of like some sort of copyright strike here or something.
Nah, I wouldn't. They wouldn't get you just for a single
Like I
line.
because I'm like, well, dude, we saw one time you sampled 5 seconds of a movie.
Uh,
Shut it down.
You'd be fine.
And I got to get David Beckham or whatever from Tropic Thunder for Lee, where he says, "Oh, hi, I'm David Beckham."
Yeah, Overton, we do quite a few history chats. Like when I figure out what they're doing, like, oh yeah, we need to have that conversation. They just finished the Eastern Roman Empire stuff, and so we have a lot of chats about things the textbook doesn't cover that really should cover, like Theodora shaming everybody else into action when they want to flee the town during the Nika revolt.
One thing I learned from my history time is that usually history always involved a whole lot of killing. Like every time I look, so it's like, are you serious? Like that's what they did? I'm like, oh my gosh. And then I remember I have quite a few. Like I did a lot of like looking at the Greek stuff, especially, but I remember I would get some of the old, like some of those like the historians, like the Greek historians who were writing stuff down back then, and there was just ones that were so vast, and they were talking about just like and sometimes you read something and be like, oh, this happened, in Rome or whatever, and it's, how many hundreds of years they lasted, then how many events and how big that empire was and how many things were going on. It was just like the crazy things that went on that you don't even really ever hear about. You know what I mean? It doesn't make the big historical news, but it was still like massive and crazy, and it's like you never hear all that stuff. There's so much that you just never hear of.
Yeah, some of the Roman historians are fascinating because even when they're writing they're like in the middle of the Republic, they're writing about their history that even at that point was considered so
Yeah,
far
yeah,
no one can remember it. So that they're writing these accounts of early Rome, and they're
yeah.
adding these caveats and saying we really have very little evidence of what
Hmm.
happened 400 years ago, and
Yeah,
here
so
we
it's your
are
own. Yeah,
2000 years later trying to piece it together, and even
yeah.
at that time they were having trouble.
They already lost, like they were already founded and like forgot a bunch of stuff about their country by the time, you know what I mean? That's like that's just a crazy sense of scale.
It's just a good reminder of how young countries are today, in perspective.
Hmm.
Even countries we consider to be quite old
Yeah.
are relatively young in comparison.
Okay, fine, puppy. Here. I'm gonna mute my mic. Give me a couple minutes. I'm gonna go feed the dog and be right back.
So when we did the Nika revolts in class, I'd always print out the speech from Theodora and give it to, I'd kind of keep an eye out at this point in the school year. It's pretty early on, but usually there's a girl in class who's kind of outspoken and headstrong. And so I always looked for that student pretty early on, and I would give her the speech the day before the class and say, here, read through the speech 5 or 6 times so you can, or really emote in class. And so we'd get to that story. I'm kind of talking through the Nika revolt, sharing all the blues and the greens and the intensity of the moment. And they said, and then Theodora stands up. And so I'd point to the girl and she would stand up and she would read through this speech. And of course, it's so much better coming from, not from my voice, but from a gal in the room, but just shaming those men who want to run away and abandon the city. And purple is the noblest shroud, and I would rather die than run away and not live as emperor and empress in the city, and kind of shaming those guys into staying and fighting. And pretty cool moment. You gotta that girl. Yeah, there's always one, right? That's awesome. Yeah, some of my best history students over the years have been that girl who really enjoys learning history and kind of embracing the fact that history is often defined not by generals and kings, but by little individuals who stand up and change the world when they have the opportunity. So pretty cool stuff. That's what you don't get when you just teach out of the textbook, because the textbook doesn't even bring it up. You would never know. Oh, there was a revolt and they burned down the basilica and then they built the this or that, and then they just move on. So kind of missing all those really important, cool parts of history that um, would turn social studies and turn history classrooms from being kind of considered dry to being the most exciting part of the student's day. Like, I can't wait to find out what's next. What happens next? Cool stuff. That's why teaching history is awesome. All sorts of cool examples of little moments in history that would be different if a little guy or a little gal didn't stand up and say something or do something. Of course, it always helps to have some really capable friends like Justinian had, Belisarius and John the Cappadocian. Must be awesome as a teacher to really reach out to certain kids, seeing them realizing. Yeah, those are the things that keep you going. Like with all of the frustrations and all the bureaucracy of teaching, it's those finding that one kid who's really interested or really could be interested and turning them on to history and turning them on to whatever the content area is. That's what keeps you going. That kind of describe it as like it's crack for teachers when you see that little light bulb turn on, or some kid who normally is kind of checked out makes the choice and buys in. So that's the good stuff.
The good stuff.
That's the good stuff.
You are having way too much fun with those animated pics, aren't you, Empire? Yeah, and so yes, I laughed because I looked back at my Twitter feed. I'm like, oh my God, I've been spamming that stuff. But yeah, and the thing is, they do garner decent attention. They do decent on YouTube. So it's like, well, like if I do anything, I try to do a whole bunch of something so that I learn if I'm getting better at it or if I like it or don't or whatever. So those were going goods, and I wanted to do a whole bunch. So I'm gonna try to do, and it gives me another form of content later. So I could do the still picture, I could do the time lapse painting, and then I could do a motion version, and that kind of gives me more content. They're all kind of varied, and yet I think they're all kind of cool or whatever in their own right. A whole bunch more of me. Um, you must have gave someone an awesome tip. Overton said awesome tip.
Yeah, we were talking about teaching history and finding ways to make it interesting.
Yeah.
Not read page 212 and answer questions
Yeah.
4 through 7.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
kind of.
When I was in high school, I remember reading, we were covering the Cold War, and the textbook got to the Korean War, and it just said the Korean War broke out. And that always
Yeah.
stuck in my brain like, well, why?
No, done.
That's the interesting part. Why are you skipping the interesting part?
Yeah, you leave like the one thing that might make you curious, like, hey, how about I hear about it a little?
So I had to go into college and take the Korean history class to actually find out the why, and that was far more interesting than just glossing over it. Those textbooks are so dry, and they
Yeah.
have their use. Like I collect history textbooks and going all
Hmm.
the way back as far as I can get them, and they're really cool for like general information. But you can totally understand why kids for years thought that history was boring. This
Yeah.
is you just suck all the life out of it, and what's left is just this skeleton with dates and major names, and that's
Like all that stuck with me, like history, all I do is like look back and I just do is like it was a complete utter murder fest, dude. And so it's like anytime I looked at history, I was like, oh my gosh, I'd always be like, A, I'm kind of half lucky I live where I live now as compared to like, if you go back thousands of years and you're living somewhere, dude, like chances are like bad things might happen soon.
well, there's always a place for that, like for like talking about battles and stuff. Um, but there's also so much of that other human interest content
Oh
that
yeah.
drives
Yeah.
in. Like if you all you did was talk about battles, and I did sometimes fall into this trap because I do like
Hmm.
the kind of things in Greek and Roman history and all that. But like if you just do that, you're going to lose a lot of your
No.
classroom. Like this.
Yeah. And that stuff isn't like me. I never even read up that much. A lot of it, I like the. What's funny is I would get a lot. You can go. Oh, what's the stupid? It's not stupid, but they have all the old newspapers, and so I'd go look at some of the newspapers from the 1840s or 1860s. And first of all, the black and white line work drawing of like probably I'd say the heyday seems to be like 18, maybe 80s or 1890s, or maybe a little later. The illustrations in a newspaper were like top tier, like drawings of all time. And they used to, the whole newspaper be illustrated with this amazing stuff. And I go look at them now and it still blows my mind. And then, I read a lot of the articles to see how they were like approaching like the news of the day and what was going on and stuff like that. I still enjoy doing that.
one of the reasons why I collect history textbooks is that they themselves become kind of artifacts
Oh
for
yeah.
what people valued at the time. And so it can tell you a lot about the time period. I found one at a used bookshop. I think the print date for it was 1914.
Oh yeah.
It was an ancient history book, kind of talking about the cultures of the ancient world. And the author goes out of his way to kind of point out the fact that previous history books really only focused on Greece and Rome. And he wanted in his history book to cover the fact that both the Greeks and the Romans were built on the efforts of previous civilizations. And so he wanted to say, all right, these accomplishments are awesome, but we're also going to talk about these other civilizations as well. And so I just thought that was amazingly advanced for a textbook from 1914.
Yeah.
Where it would have been easy to just imply that Rome and Greece is all there is. When we now know there's so many others who've contributed to the human story. Okay, Battle Master, you got enough windows? Sheesh.
Oh yeah. Well, all the little ones. I don't know if I like that turtle.
Can't just have one view screen like the Jenner. No, I gotta be fancy. Can't just do it easy.
I just remember taking. I like the long range missiles in that game because then you could do some damage before. Get them at a distance, and then hopefully they're wounded to get them beforehand. I always found, if I remember correctly, I liked long distance in that version. Not to finish everything off, but if you did a decent amount of damage before they could get in, or there was a range mismatch, you were okay.
And it's always the gamble, right? You load up on long range stuff, and then they rush into a brawl.
Yeah.
You're not holding the bag.
They up north by me, they would do these mining things. So I would read they'd be like these real small towns, and they're trying to find copper, and they just got like their first little newspaper, and they would be working, and it's like I said, 1800s, and you would hear this guy he's set to take over the mine, and he's sailing down, and we're going to be expecting him next week, and you would see these news clips, and the next week it'd be like he's almost here, but frost caused the ship to be delayed, and da da da, and then be like, yay, he's here to work the mine and whatever, and the next one was like on his first day he fell from the top of the mine shaft and like broke his back at the bottom and like that was it. I'm like, so you read all these things of like the dude, and people with those minings, they were forever blowing themselves up. You would always hear like, so I was reading through it, and I was like, oh god, they were always dying in the mine. Like you'd be like, oh, he just blew up, and I'm like, oh god, they were really like going after it. But like I was reading the story, I didn't know. I was just like, oh, I happened to catch them. It's like, oh, they're really excited about this new guy to lead the mine, and then like he was like I think he was got to the top, and I think the wind blew and slammed the door, and like then he fell all the way down. And that was that.
Yeah, I do love the K2. It's just a good looking mech. Should probably hold it in frame. There you go. Good looking mech.
Yeah,
like
that's a sharp one. I like that one. There's some, it's weird. So, especially in the original BattleTech book, there's some artwork that I absolutely love. Then there's some designs I really love, and then there's some I kind of find are about BattleTech. So it's like this mix of, and the art in the game books was always so cool. You'd see like the engineer working next to the lift with all the parts and whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I love
It was
that stuff.
almost like a. Oh, God. I don't want to say a trope, but there's some really
Yeah.
bad BattleTech art out there.
Oh,
It's
for
like
sure.
that kind of typical 1980s style art. So you have the really good stuff that's held up well, and then you have some of the most atrocious things.
Yeah.
And of course, BattleTech fan art is kind of notoriously bad as well.
Well, they're hard, dude. It's hard. Like a good like mech with the hard edges, and to really,
Mhm.
that's like a whole different level of.
Bless their hearts for trying, but someone is pretty bad.
Yeah, because it's just a hard thing, and then you're not. Yeah, it's difficult. The hard edges, like a lot of times with
Cauldron
people, the people you can make them flex and do different things, whereas a mech, the metal is the metal, and you're not cheating it.
Cauldron is one of my favorite mechs, and so I had to print 2 of them. I have a metal one, but oops, I can actually decide where to hold it in frame. There you go. Yeah, for my command lance for my Jade Falcon crew, I pilot a Cauldron, so that's a pretty awesome mech. That's another one of those where you have to come up with a backstory. Well, why does a Jade Falconer have a Cauldron? That's all right.
Because he's dope and does dope stuff.
Just running a Smoke Jaguar mech. It's just
how I roll.
This is happening. This is happening.
It's your hobby
get
too.
King Crab going too.
Oh, now I want seafood.
Regular crab and king crab.
I would take regular crab. I hate blue crab. There's not too many things I don't eat. Blue crab was such a mess the one time. It was like some small amount of meat and a whole crab, and like you have to like open the whole shell. And I was like, what? That was one where I was like, all right, that was it seemed like a waste, and B, the reward was definitely not there because it wasn't very good either.
I don't eat ocean bugs.
I do. I like ocean bugs. They're good. Oh yeah, almost anything. If ours part doesn't work out, maybe I'll go food blogging. Take something less risky. Go food blogging. What?
This is now a food stream.
Yeah. You pair your snacks. I wanted to pair drinks with your army. So like when you make an army, you pair a drink with it. What's funny is I'm not even half of it. Oh my God. I mean, I hope the Artist Empire thing goes because I have like some ideas for later that I just really want to do there. Would be so fun.
AE brand whiskey.
Yeah. I will.
This army pairs well with Mountain Dew Blast.
Yeah. Glass, not out of the bottle. I do miss the glass bottles once in a while. I don't drink that much soda or pop. No, I don't know why I don't say pop anymore. I say soda, even though traditionally around here it's pop, but I'll have one once in a while. I do, well, okay, Red Bull counts, but I'll still do the stupid sugar-free from that. But I don't like sugar-free pop. I will drink a sugar-free Red Bull or whatever, but if I'm going to get a pop, I get the toxic stuff. Full toxicity.
I had a friend who brought some of those energy drinks over when they stayed here. And I was reading the back, and I'm like, how can you drink this?
That's where the zip
50% of your sugar for the day? Sugar's in everything, right? You can't drink 50% of your day's sugar in the morning.
Sure you can.
Ugh.
You're probably only getting 600-700% of your daily sugar intake.
Ugh. Kids would bring those to class along with giant bags of the Takis chips.
Oh yeah,
it's just the most disgusting thing, and they would just eat them all day long. Like your
And
fingers are stained orange, kid.
I almost
Holy
bought more
cow.
Taki chips. It's hilarious that you bring it up because I bought some the
So
other
gross.
day because they were on sale for $1.89 in this tube, in like a Pringles tube, dude. So they're like perfect Takis chips, dude. And then I almost bought them yesterday. And it's so funny. You're talking about like drinking that, eating that, and here I am. I was like, I practically have Taki powder on my fingers right now.
Can't do it. Just enjoy your chemicals. Like, I, I'm
So
not I'm not one to preach. I don't eat the
no,
best
no, but you're
either,
no, you're
but
totally
holy
right.
cow.
No, I know some of those like so that stuff I would always I had it before. I mean now I eat like way better. Like I'll still get some stuff because I'm not a Puritan about all that stuff, but I mean, you know, and those are just funny and the same with like candy bars, but when you don't eat a lot of that stuff, even now it like tastes so much like different when you go to have one. Like when you haven't drank a pop in forever and then you go drink one, it's like, oh,
Yeah. That can of classic Coke that just feels like it's eating
mm-hmm.
through the enamel on your teeth.
Oh,
Like,
absolutely.
okay, I'm done.
Yeah,
A little bit goes a long way.
yeah. Ooh, this is cool.
Warritos. I'll have to look for that. Warritos soda. Is that? I haven't
Oh
seen
yeah.
that.
I would say I don't know where it's from. It would they definitely would like I don't know if it comes from Mexico. It may, but it's typically they'll sell it here in a lot of like Mexican type of markets and stuff like that. And yeah, I've had my share of Warritos. I don't know how you say it, Warritos.
I might even finish these next today. Nice.
Oh, you know what I love is that made me think of horchata. I love horchata, but I was spoiled. So the first time I had horchata, I don't know, I think until the 90s sometime, and someone invited me over for dinner, and the wife was from Mexico, and so was he, and then they like knew how to make their version for real, and so then I had the
Mm.
real stuff like from the rice with all the stuff, and it was the vanilla. Oh my God, it was like the best thing ever, and I've been like chasing it ever since. And you can't like normally go to like a restaurant and get it because they'll try like some mix or something or whatever. And it's like, I think they usually just like rinse the rice and they take the rice water with like I can't remember what, and they put like the vanilla in it and cinnamon and oh my God, I've been chasing that ever since because it was amazing.
We had
So
that
every
when I
time,
was student teaching. There was a mom, student teaching in a very heavily Hispanic school district, and one of the moms would bring in homemade tamales every week.
yeah, yeah.
Fridays was tamale day, and so all the teachers would rush to the teachers' lounge to get
Hmm. For
to fill
sure.
up.
Yeah. Oh,
So good.
absolutely.
I think I might actually just be able to put these on their bases today, which would be pretty cool.
Really? Helping you get stuff done. See?
Yeah. Here I was in the morning, like I don't feel like doing anything.
See, a real Roadrunner says, I'm officially coffee is my caffeine delivery system all day long. So I'll usually do I would say I do caffeine every day, but coffee. Oh, I take today I had two, but only because one was like the small, crummy gas station coffee, so I rebrewed another one. But usually I would have either like one coffee a day. And if I don't have a coffee, kind of like in the morning, and like a coffee will last me if I get like I'll get like a big one at McDonald's, say it's 20 ounces, right? So a 20-ounce coffee will last me like 5, 6 hours. So I sip that, and that's pretty much my caffeine intake. Once in a while, maybe I also get a Red Bull, but most times if I have a coffee, I won't have a Red Bull later. And those are pretty much my most two caffeine. Once in a while, if I like stop and get some sloppy drive-through food, I'll get some something.
Well, you are old, Rodberry. Yeah, he is old.
Yeah, at least I know there's a lot of old people who didn't grow up like me. Like, there's people out there.
We keep RB around so that no one else is the oldest person in the room. He takes the crown and holds onto it. It's all good.
Still highlighting. Why am I highlighting all that? Just because I want to try something.
All right. Do this. We'll play that way. We'll play that way. The strangest thing out here, I don't know if it's the climate or what, but super glue does not want to stick.
Yeah, that's what I heard. Someone else, I think I said that too. Someone else said that, and that was kind of like, huh?
I had to go out and finally buy the accelerator stuff, Instaset,
Really?
just to get things to stick in a reasonable amount of time. Like, I don't have time to sit here and hold it for 5 minutes.
Yeah, for sure. Huh. Does altitude affect the glue? I mean, I
I don't
guess
know. I
drying
am.
time, cooking, yeah. Huh.
It is significantly higher. I'm probably 1,500 feet higher than
Really interesting. I would wonder. I wouldn't
possible
think it would, but maybe.
air pressure or something.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Oh, it's like air pressure, and if you're dry, I don't. It's like obviously something not humid would probably dry faster. I don't think that really matters. Not that much humidity in the air for glue.
We'll adapt.
Adapt and overcome.
I just broke the aerials off this guy.
I'm not much of a drinker, but I'll drink anything. What if I'm golfing or something? I like those. All it is like seltzer water with a little booze in it, but it's so clean. It's like not. It's like okay, you just have a little, and that's the extent of my drinking. I don't really. Stuff dehydrates me too quick.
Yep, never mind. It's just not gonna have an arterial. Oh, arterial. Almost done.
Dun, dun, dun. Yeah, we'll probably won't be too much longer on the stream either. Oops, did I? Oh, please undo, please undo. Nope. Oh, that's okay. Whew. Did you see your tip? Overton. Wait, what is this? I'm gonna hear this. Maybe I'll get a tip. Glue with accelerator is big in the woodworking world now, especially when gluing any other material to wood. Pro tip frog, Overton says, it's because the resin into dry. Put a little bit of water on it and it will work as normal. I had the same problem, but the glue in my GW's models worked out okay. Something to try. Something to try. Oh, let me blur some arms. I gotta blur some arms here. Yeah, that works. Oh. Oh, what's going on? Perspective blur layer.
34 miles to work in the snow, even in the summer. Uphill both ways.
It was funny, so this guy up north or whatever. It's like amazing to think of how much the world changed and someone you talk to. He would tell stories where he could go to the hardware store and they would have a whole box of dynamite there and you could just buy sticks of dynamite.
Oof.
Like, oh, the good old days, dude. You can't have fun like you used to. Can't just go to the corner store and pick up some sticks of dynamite. I'm like, I'm living in the wrong age. You could just, he's like, yeah, you just go right up to the corner store. Like, they have a whole box. You just grab some regular sticks of dynamite and go on your way.
Have to
Like, think
find
of how
some
much
other
more
way to
fun.
entertain ourselves besides
Yeah,
dynamite.
like think of how much like we have cable and computers. Yeah, you didn't need that stuff back then because you could get dynamite. Like
Mm-hmm.
who cares about like if you had computers and I got a fancy car and I have a Tesla. No, but I got sticks of dynamite. Check this out.
Yeah, I had a buddy who was missing these two fingers on not my buddy, but his dad
Yeah.
was missing those two fingers on his hand because they decided they were going to dig a mine into the side of the hill, and they needed some light because they're actually getting a pretty considerable way into this side of this
Mm-hmm.
hill. And so they filled a cup with kerosene and figured
Oh,
that
man.
would work as a good lantern. Big fireball out the front of the mine.
Yeah.
Two little kids who are on fire now, and ended up burning off two of his fingers. Pretty
Oh, that's
pretty
gnarly.
rough.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah, Echo over here. And so the person be old, he's like he passed away, but he'd probably have to be like 100 right now or so like that, or late 90s probably if that was his age. But yeah, and so he was kind of more country or whatever. But yep, so whatever when he was young and probably for a while, it's probably like shoot, you probably maybe even like what 60, 70 years ago, maybe up there you could get sticks of dynamite. I mean, it was probably a little longer, but you know, see how much more fun would things be? A little dynamite.
Solve all sorts of problems.
Yeah, you just go have a little like
Proper application of explosive.
fireworks. You get some work done with it. You could have parties. Like and now they're always blowing everyone up doing their birthday reveals. You could at least use the real thing. Like, be like, I blew myself up, but they'd be using like cheap products. Be like, at least use a stick of dynamite.
Use the good stuff.
Yeah. If you're gonna blow people up at your child's gender reveal.
Create a forest fire. Go big or
Yeah.
go
Oh,
home.
they all do that too. Gosh.
Make a crazy number. All right, where's my white? I never find my white. This stuff. Those of you who are painters in the room,
Let's check out the
you
good
need
stuff.
a
Show the
super bright,
title. Show the title.
super bright white.
All
The
right.
Pro Acryl bold titanium white. This is like single coat white over anything. It is crazy just how dense the pigment is. So you just use it for
So
everything.
there's your hot tip of the day,
There you go.
people. Hot tip of the day.
Painting light, if you're painting a light color over a dark color, put down this white first and then whatever other color on top works. Don't have to do like
Pow.
15 thin coats or whatever. Do it
15
once.
thin coats.
I don't do
15 thin
15 coats.
coats is the way. Perspective blur, perspective blur. Oh, am
Well,
I
a
in the
good
right
gender
way?
reveal should leave a crater, right?
Apparently, I didn't know that was the whole point. It was like, what are the? I mean, how many people? And then who cares? Like, I don't even get any of that. So I can't even. I'm like, what do you mean, like a big thing for it? I don't even get that. You can just be like, hey, I'm having a boy. I'm like, rock on. Hey, I'm having a girl. Right on. I don't need an explosion. I don't need you to kill somebody for me to be happy for you. Like They need to make spoofs. There needs to be a spoof between like that. What is that? Like the Squid Game with a gender reveal theme, like a gender reveal parties mixed with Squid Game.
Survive baby season.
Yeah. Can you survive baby season? People are all sweating and nervous. This is my fourth gender reveal this year. After I saw Mary get her arm blown off, I get nervous.
Hard to see the cockpit. Try hard lighting effect with the cockpit. That's hard to see.
Yeah, but it's bright.
Works.
Yeah, but why they always kind of end in death and stuff in flames? I don't get it. There's an over like what do they? Does everyone do this at like birthday parties? Is like a do they just not report the birthday party deaths as much as they report gender reveal party deaths? Like seriously, like this guy, you don't hear like, oh, he blew off his fingers at his birthday. It's always like at a gender reveal. So we're gonna need science to answer this. See, when I get more money and I'm more funded, I'm gonna have someone who can search these things out for us. You know, that's
Real world fact checking.
yeah, that's what they'll be like. What are you trying to make money for? I'm like, dude, I need real world fact checking on this show. Like, do you know how expensive that's got to be?
Someone's got to have Google out there. Come on.
Yeah, I can't afford that, but we're working on it.
America.
Some sticks, throw some sticks, go toss some sticks of dynamite around.
It's a standard American reaction. I do what I want.
I do what I want. Want to toss some sticks? Oh, and then think of the stories. Think of the stories. You know, people were all liquored up going to the thing to get dynamite out of the hardware store. Come on. Like what historical tidbits did happen there? You know somebody did something. They're taking the horse wagon and trying to chuck dynamite off the side drunk down the road.
Though I suspect people are probably more careful
Did
because they
you
had
have
actually used it before. So they kind of grow up around people who've used dynamite to take out
Yeah.
trumps and stuff
Oh, I
or black powder for that.
absolutely. But you
And so
know
people,
someone still screwed around, you know.
yeah.
No, but I agree with
But
that.
Joe Schmo who's never used it before decides to go buy some
No.
smoke remover and
And I
make a
mean,
bomb.
up in his area, yes, they were really, you're using it to remove stumps and do, you know, those like a hardy lifestyle, you know what I mean? So if you can't handle tossing a few sticks around, you got bigger problems. Oh, we did. Moving on up.
Need more bases. How many bases? All the bases.
All the bases.
Literally covering all
Everywhere.
the bases. Ah,
Didn't. Oh, wait. Keep that. He's covering all the bases.
there you
Yeah.
go.
See?
There's your production quality, ladies and
Yep.
gentlemen.
Amazing. Remember, you can visit me on Patreon, Twitter.
The 7:30 show is
What's this
completely different
one?
from the 8:30
Ko-fi
show.
coffee. Did I always say Ko-fi?
Remember to tip your waiter.
Yeah, tip your waiter. Well, the one thing I say is at least I'm not being lazy about it. Like, I'm trying it, darn it. I like this little Master Blaster dude on his shoulders.
Well, if you think about it, there's always countless number of people who are like, "Oh, I could do that if I wanted to," and they never actually do anything.
Oh gosh, yeah. It seems like the older I get, the more I realize like just starting anything and then following through gets you through at least 80% of it. It's probably like it's at least that, dude. Because pretty much everything takes work to accomplish, and who really wants to work? Not me. I was supposed to be born to rich parents, and that all got messed up.
Well, and I honestly thought I was going to teach in the same position in the same school for my entire career, and wasn't quite in the cards. So we're gonna do
I
something
thought I
else.
was going to be one of those ignorant kids who grew up with a rich family and takes it for granted, but nope. No such luck. Gotta go. Have a good one. Thank you very much, Overton. Echo. Appreciate it. It says you're doing a great job, Empire. Thank you very much. Stay
Awesome. Take care.
frosty. Family man it up. I. That's what the most amazing part of all this has just been the. There's just so many people like kind of that returning to the hobby and people in it with like family and just kids responsibilities, and that's why they couldn't for a while. And I'm realizing there's like more people out there with like the same like common taste as far as like what we think looks cool. It's like, oh yeah, that stuff looks cool. That's been a good thing for me.
Mm-hmm. It's just so cool to see what everybody's working on, and especially in all the different types of games, and the fact that the whole kind of Gen X is finally old enough to do all the things they wanted to do for years.
I know they're getting old too now.
Like I finally have the resources to do all the things I wanted to do when I
Mm-hmm.
was 12. And so
I
I'm going to take
know, I know. That's what I mean. That's what I laugh about because it's literally like trying to regress as far as like at least do. I just want to do all the stuff I want to do as a kid. It's probably what this is like all kind of about. I mean, you gotta like work and make money and all that stuff, but at the bottom of the time, it is trying to do what you want to do as a kid. You gotta be like, oh, isn't it cool to like
some of
dream up
it's maybe
words?
some of it's maybe just a realization that we're kind of looking at our parents, and many of them worked themselves to death
Yeah.
doing a job they didn't particularly enjoy, and like I don't really want to do that.
Dude, there's a lot to be said for that. In this, I have to kind of like transition and take a little bit of a chance and like do some stuff, but whatever, it's exciting. It's like a real life choose your own adventure book. It's like, will this end in complete tragedy? And was it a dead chain right from that page? Went from page two? We'll see. Tune in.
That's where things went sideways. No,
Yeah. And he thought these paintovers are a great idea. And that's where things went wrong.
there's that freezing frame.
Yeah.
Oh,
And then
bet you're wondering how I got into this sticky
yeah,
situation.
I was laughing. I was like, yeah, I gotta research some stuff on light and like work on some stuff for paintovers. And I'm like, I need to like sit down and like concentrate a bunch of time. And then I was like, you know what I really need is like a montage, dude. Like I need a montage of me like all into the art thing, practicing all this stuff, and then it's all over in like 3 minutes, and I got all these skills. I'm like, I need a montage moment.
Well, my son watched. You remember the Tom Hanks movie, The Burbs?
Oh gosh, yeah, but that's been a while. I forget all about that.
My son watched it for the first time last night, and he was laughing his head off. He's been
Gosh,
going through all the 80s and 90s movies.
I remember renting a VCR to rent. I think that's how I saw like I think Ghostbusters. What year would Ghostbusters have been out? I think it's a
84, 86. Like that.
yeah. And I remember back then it took a while to come out to VHS or whatever. You know what I mean? But I remember like renting a VCR to rent a movie.
We did that with the Sega Genesis.
Oh yeah, I used to do that a lot too with the Sega
My
Genesis. That's
cousins would
funny.
come over and we'd rent the Genesis for the weekend and
Mm-hmm.
play games. So we had a regular Nintendo, but by that point it wasn't cool anymore. So we needed that. And my parents wouldn't pay for a Super Nintendo because they're like, "You already
Yeah.
have a Nintendo. I'm not buying you another
Yeah, you don't need
Nintendo."
a super one.
You know. So I never owned a Super Nintendo. I did own an N64, but I had to pay for that myself.
Yeah. The good old N64. That was a good system.
Yeah. I foolishly gave all that to my sister later, so she now has all of the cool old Nintendo stuff, and she won't give it back. She knows what she
Boo.
has.
At least it didn't go to waste. You're not going to give it to someone who's going to give it away like you did.
Foolish, foolish.
This little dude down here, he's got to be looking up there with something. Am I supposed to fix that? Am I supposed to fix that?
Pretty much. I don't know why we didn't ask about renting the Super Nintendo. I guess because it
Yeah.
had the game name, we knew we couldn't get that to fly.
Yeah.
We had to go with the Genesis.
Oh, Genesis. Wait, the it wasn't. It was the Sega. Oh, gosh, was it the 32X or whatever? They had a Cyberpunk. It wasn't Cyberpunk. It was Shadow. No, it wasn't Shadowrun. It was Shadowrun. Was it Shadowrun? Ah, no, it was the other one like Shadowrun. Can't remember. It was for that 16, and it was a really good game. God, was it Shadowrun? I don't think it was. I think it was something like Shadowrun, but not Shadowrun. I'll have to look it up. Huh. I used to play that one a lot because it had some really cool stuff, and your level up was great. That was a game that was ahead of its time.
We were super excited for the BattleTech game that came out on the
Yeah,
Genesis, and then it was like, this is not
yeah.
what we wanted.
Oh gosh, there was a few
Turn
decades
it
of that
into
kind of thing.
an arcade game.
Yeah, yeah. It's like, no, that's not what that game was. IRC Genesis with Sega CD had a Shadowrun, so then maybe it is Shadowrun I was thinking about. I would have to just Google it real quick and see. That's another thing. That's why I need to make more money because the assistant would already be on it. Need the show to step up its game.
You know, or
I've
just
been
have better
streaming.
guests.
I've been streaming like no, no,
Yeah.
no such thing. It has nothing to do with guests because I'm here, so I'm just a drain on it. I was like, I'm laughing. I'm like,
You need a higher quality of guests, sir.
yeah. I'm
Up their
like,
game.
I have nothing pertinent to say, and I don't. I'm like laughing at my stream. I'm like, I don't really like have any like. It's not like I have some deep well of knowledge or any of that stuff. And it's like, oh, I just kind of babble a lot on stream. That's good. Go with that. Keep doing it.
Seemed like a good idea at the time.
Yeah. Like what were you gonna say? You have nothing to say. Oh, this is a good idea.
Just gonna draw some yellow stripes.
And the SENS had a shadow run that was awesome. See, so I'm gonna look those up because I must have played it because at that time, and I know it was a cyberpunk, and it must have been Shadowrun it because it wasn't cyberpunk the game, and it wasn't. I was trying to think there was another popular one, but I'm pretty sure it was Shadow. Yeah, it was Shadowrun. There was a Shadowrun that came out a few years ago. I think I might even had that on Steam. Well, probably a few years ago. It'd probably been like 6, 7 years ago.
Yeah, it's like a turn-based
Yes. Yep.
RPG.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I never really got into Shadowrun.
Shadowrun had some really cool stuff back in the day. I didn't play
Jacking
that
it.
one too much. Yeah, yeah. The Cyberpunk. Hopefully I still have my Cyberpunk book. And I liked the Palladium stuff. I loved the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game was cool. Creating characters of that was a lot of fun. So there's all these kind of different animals you could make and
Tapping going on over there.
I know where I should get my special tip. I didn't even put it on yet. How long have we been going? Oh, we've been going 2 hours. We might have to. See, that's the other thing. Okay, so I'm realizing about streaming. And I noticed it from the big streamers. Like, usually streaming is something that's better, like a long time. It gives people time to come in. Like, your first hour almost doesn't even count. You know what I mean? And so I see other people, it's like, oh, they start getting this the second hour, and that's when you can actually start, like, getting more viewers and all that kind of stuff. And then by that time, I'm like,
Done.
yeah, yeah, dude.
Like, I need a break.
Shadowrun Returns. Yeah, I'm gonna look up some of those games. Dig up some of my old ones too and show some of that stuff on there. I had to look up a game I got for like a Commodore 64 or something. It was called The Wrath of Nicodemus, and I think that it was came out in '87. I just happened to remember that game, and I wanted to look it up. And yeah, it was some old school stuff. 87. 87 was how many years ago?
Too many.
So 30? 30
Still
some.
1993 in my brain, so not that long.
Oh God, that's crazy. Oh well.
I get a lot of hobby done. That's good. That's somebody's getting some work done.
He's like, yeah, it's good. It's like, yeah, I like to stream. It's really uninteresting, so I find myself not paying attention at all, so I get a lot of stuff done. Hey, thanks. Glad we could help.
Helps me get to sleep at night.
Yeah, help me get to sleep. When I'm really looking for something to put me to sleep, I tune in. We'll be like
Right,
trending first on the sleep category.
it's right up there with the lo-fi work music.
Yeah. Now just wait for my base to dry. Get that. I would have a super turbo, like hair dryer next to me mounted, so I can just put it underneath there and probably melt the plastic and be at a rush.
All right. Well, at least now I'll have all the bases ready for the next lance.
So you got some productive time. Yeah, we've been
Yeah,
in
no
here for
kidding.
2 hours. You just painted straight for 2 hours. Give yourself a hand. I'm going to give you some applause. Wait, hang on. Let's see the technology in action. Hang on. Gotta wait. And yeah, hobby
Wow.
heroes out there. That's for you all.
Here's your production value.
Yep. You asked for higher production value, or there it is. I know, Topping.
34.
I will do a few more. Oh, wait, we didn't see this one. I'll show this one, the time lapse, what I was trying to do.
That texture paint is the worst. Ugh. This stuff is awesome, but it takes forever to dry.
What is that for? Bases?
Yeah, for making like texture on bases.
Okay.
It's good, just slows down the process.
Yeah.
So I tend to do like batch basing where I make all the bases at the same time. Here, I've got these are for
Oh, yeah.
the dinosaur Mantic dinosaurs,
Hmm.
the salamanders.
Yeah, that's the way to do it.
Do them all at once and let them dry, and they're ready.
There. You know what? Good 2 hour stream. I think we can call it good. I'll go let you be with your family now. You can actually do back to adult things.
Yeah, I suppose.
Playtime with me is over.
Thanks for the play date.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, we had a little play date. It's worked out good. Thanks. Yes. That'd be like a funny
we've been
show
teasing
tell.
my son. We've been teasing my son mercilessly as he's kind of making his first friends out here.
Yeah,
Completely
yeah,
new area and all that. So he's like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna go to. Can we go to a movie on Friday?" I'm like, "Oh,
yeah.
you've got a play date. That's adorable." And the 12-year-old
Yeah.
kid is the last. Just
Yeah.
his main focus is life is in life is not being embarrassed, and so
Yeah. And now
it's
you're
my
telling me
job
he's
as a
got a
father
play
to
date.
embarrass the
Oh
shit out of him.
God, yeah. See, that's what sucked about being a kid, because that type of stuff would bother you as a kid. That was the one good thing about being older, is then you look back on some of those things I used to worry about and be like, what was I even thinking?
It's got to be cool. Be
Yeah.
cool.
So, thanks for everyone making it. Really appreciate that. Like Toffee and Echo and Real Road, everybody else, making sure Overton was in here.
All
And
the
the
finest
crease.
people.
Yeah, the finest people. Appreciate you hanging out. I'm sure we'll see each other on the World Wide Web.
There you go.
You got a lot done. Got 2 hours of solid work in there.
Yeah, got a lance done. Got some bases. We're good to go.
Do you know what you're going to print next on your 3D printer?
I'm gonna see how these frogmen turned out, and I may print another 5 of them if it works.
Dun dun
And why not over
dun.
10?
And then start selling them. I don't know. Like, why are you doing that? Like, this is not even fun anymore. I
I
don't
don't even
know.
know why I'm
What do you do
doing
with this?
anything anymore. Who knows?
I know 3D printer. It's like, go order a 50-gallon jug of resin.
If it's not working, it's just wasted time, right? Should
But
be
it's true.
printing
Yeah, I
something.
know. Because then you're like, hey, I would have wanted that. And what I would end up doing is like those, like either like wall sections or like D&D dungeon tiles. Like I don't even
Mm.
play D&D. I haven't played D&D in 30 years, but like the set of dungeon tiles seems like I really want those.
I'll post some good pictures of the mechs. Those of you who are interested in seeing, I'll post them on Twitter, and you can see how they
Yeah,
turned out.
yeah, you'll see me spamming my artwork in endless videos for a while, so enjoy. Have a good night, all. Thanks a lot.
All
I'm
right,
gonna
take
hit end on